What's up, everybody, and welcome to Around the Monitor for the week of August 21st. I'm your host, King Kaiser, and this is the weekly gaming news talk show where every point you make in the discussion is a point towards winning. Joining us for the first time in a long time, it's Boom, Tough Actin' Tenactin, Baritsubaru.
Hey, what's up, Zach? Good to see you, King Kaiser. What's up, boy?
It's the Ace Attorney, Dapper Dastard.
Hey, yo.
And last but not least, it's the hockey sticks and sickle himself, Ian.
Fishing is the real end game in Final Fantasy XIV.
You might notice we're a little short-handed tonight, and that is true. Got us on that one.
Uh-huh.
But
redeem your points to take away a point from Fisher, who's not here right now.
It's okay, though, because this week was a slow news week, and so it's probably for the better. But we always start the show with a trivia question to determine the order, and that question this week is, the PlayStation VR, how many units of that hardware have been sold?
God, I have no fucking idea.
I don't.
I mean, here's the thing, I'll say this, PlayStation VR has sold generally better than most other VR headsets, but it's still a VR headset.
Is this globally or in the United States?
Globally.
Okay, I'm gonna go with 25 million.
25
Oh, that's
mil.
way different than what I would have said. But with that, I'm gonna go with 15 million.
I'm gonna go even low. I'm gonna go even lower and say 5 million.
Yeah.
The correct answer is 4.2 million.
Ooh, neato.
I was originally thinking like 3 million, and then Baritsubaru here is like...
That's why I'm here. I'm the wild card.
He's blowing the numbers up. So the order will be Dapper, followed by Ian, followed by Baritsubaru. Remember, if you are watching live, as Reliant K-Fan has already done, you can vote to take away or add points to players if you agree or disagree with their points. Fortunately, he took away a point from Fisher, who's not actually playing this game, so it cannot be added or subtracted.
He just starts with negative points next
Yeah, I think next week he starts with negative points.
He will love that you said that. But add it to the record. So let's go over the topics for this week. We've got Fall Guys kicks off a charity contest. Brands that bid the most get money, brand that bids the most money gets a skin added to the game. Sony is working on the next generation VR headset, although it might not be a PlayStation VR 2. Halo Infinite's delay is reportedly due to outsourcing large portions of the game, as well as them being their attention being diverted to working on the TV show, which they have denied. 2 single-player games announced co-op DLC this week, Ghosts of Tsushima and Untitled Goose Game. We've had some cool new details about the haptic feedback in the PlayStation 5 controllers. PlayStation 5 also released its first commercial with the slogan, "Play has no limits." Apparently, it also has no price or release date. The lead narrative designer and creative director for Vampire the Masquerade 2 have been fired this week. Persona 4 did super well on Steam, so well that in fact Sega is going to port a shit ton of their games there now. Microsoft Flight Sim has some funny anomalies in real-world architecture. Apple has turned up the heat on Epic and has gone after Unreal Engine on iOS devices. And Rocksteady issues a response to a letter published 2 years ago about sexual harassment going on at the studio. Dapper, you're up first. What would you like to talk about?
All right. For like the third straight week, apparently, we're still talking about Fall Guys.
This game's got some legs, man.
It's got some legs, and it just keeps upping its own ante.
Tell us about how hard it is to get them crowns.
All right, so as we, I think, talked about a little bit last week, there's been a lot of brand interaction with Fall Guys because, I mean, the base character is literally just a tiny little bean person with arms, and it's very simple to dress up as literally anything. It literally like can be a walking billboard. Like, you know those NASCAR cars have like 8 million logos on it? Yeah, you could pretty much do that with a Fall Guy character really easily.
Just wait till that happens now.
Yeah, exactly. But noticing this trend, Mediatronic, or Tonic, is it Tonic or Tronic? Damn it, I don't know.
I want to say it's Tronic, but it could be Tonic.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly. That's bad. But
Media Gin and Tonic.
Sounds good. But they decided to use this immense amount of brand interest and actually do something pretty cool with it. They started a contest where any company could bid, and the highest bidder basically got guaranteed a Fall Guys costume. But rather than just take the money and run, it's actually a charity thing. Then the money is going to a group called Special Effect, which works with video game accessibility and making sort of unique accessibility options for kids with disabilities or individuals with disabilities who want to play games. So one of those very cool video game related charities that exists, not the same thing as Extra Life, but a similar sort of video game focused charity. And this started like August 17th, so a few days ago. And the game Warframe, one of Ian's favorites, started out with a $20,000 bid, which is pretty cool to start.
It's a good out the start gate, but then...
Right. Last time I checked, it's at like 400,000.
Jesus God.
Which is like a lot higher. They've gotten a ton of competing bids from Ninja, another YouTuber whose name I can't remember. Warframe re-upped their donation at one point, and then the G2 Esports also has been throwing a lot of money around. Currently, the leader is a company that makes bidets, and they basically want the Fall Guy to have a shirt that says "Ask us about your butthole."
Oh, that's so good.
This is a very real thing. Like they have been like he DM'd the owner of the company. Apparently, this is a real thing. So we'll see how that goes.
That's so good.
But this is once again, Fall Guys is taking great advantage of its phenomenal media presence. But even better, they're using it to do something cool and actually do a little bit of charity on this. So once again, this is a win-win. This is an example of how to effectively get your brand out there while at the same time endear a lot of people to you by at least appearing to be a very cool company. So kudos to you.
We do have 2 points to give really quick to Dapper. One for saying beans with arms, which is very funny. And another for being able to list the specific brands and numbers / people's names, which I gave you a point for as well, but now you get to.
Neato.
So I had a point taken away from me, but I did have a point to Ian for his poor mic quality.
We get a point for that now?
I mean, that according to Reliant K fans.
Hey, I do this every week.
Let me just disconnect mine.
Speaking of Ian, you're up next. What would you like to talk about for your first topic?
All right. PlayStation 5 got their first commercial, put out their first commercial. Obviously, they've had all sorts of like media buzz and ads and all sorts of things around this, but this is the 1 minute commercial that's to be aired on TV.
Please tell us about this 1 minute commercial.
It's okay. So what it is 1 minute of fucking nothing. Like this woman with walking through a cave, and then she sees a rock colossus. That's it, and it's nothing. There's no narrative to it. It doesn't have anything to do with any of the games or any of the hardware or anything to do with the PlayStation brand. It's nothing. It's nothing. And it doesn't show the two things that we want to know when we're like, what, 2 or 3 release date of these consoles? It doesn't tell us the price. Still, it's August 20th. It is August fucking 20th. These things are coming out November.
Yeah, I mean, if rumors are to be believed,
the price.
If rumors are to be believed, the Xbox Series X is supposed to be coming out November 6th, which is just barely more than 2 months from now. How do we not know this? the PlayStation.
The end of the commercial, she looks at this guy. I'm getting the name Skarn, and I don't know exactly what I'm getting that from. Maybe Endless Legend. But it looks like a rock. And then it like goes to the the screen, the blue screen with the console that looks like a fucking Wi-Fi router. It's I still can't get that out of my mind. And goes, PlayStation, play has no limits, and then that's it. It's nothing. Why did you make this, Sony?
Hey, listen, they had to pay some interns to do this. Oh wait, they're interns. We do have some extra points to give you here. One is actually from Fisher, which is interesting. Ian says, Ian, for that fucking PlayStation 5 commercial recap, I watched a show of Ian just saying what happens shot for shot in commercials. You know what? That might be the new around the monitor content we've been looking to have. Ian recaps a commercial. We were talking about it at work. Last console cycle, we knew the price roughly 150 days away. Yeah, here we are, just barely 70 days away.
Yeah,
and we have
nothing. This is
Yeah.
This is the stupidest game of chicken I've maybe ever seen.
It says I gave Wes a point earlier. What did he give Wes a point earlier for?
I don't know, but I'll take it.
Fuck RK.
All right, well we'll give Wes a point until it's disputed. Wes, what would you like to talk about for your first topic?
In terms of what I want to talk about from my time, let's talk about Persona 4 because I really like that game.
Yeah, I remember you liking the Persona games.
Yeah, I love Persona, and this really excites me that it did so well on Steam because I love the idea of Sega opening the doors to port a lot more of their games and give a lot more accessibility towards their titles. Not only in terms of the Shin Megami Tensei series and Persona, but I would love to see, and I'm sure a lot of other people would love to see, ports of old Sonic the Hedgehog games that have kind of been lost to time.
Just give me Sonic 06 on Steam, please.
Oh yeah, I would love to see it, please. Honestly, if they released like a graphically updated Sonic 06.
No. Don't even tempt them with that dark joke.
Oh, but I think that they would do it, and I think they would do it.
Yeah, they would do it, and it would probably sell all right because streamers are going to buy that game.
Exactly. So I'm telling Sega right now, hit me up for all of your ideas for what you need to do with your company. You need to remake Sonic 06. You need to remake Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. That one I think people would actually buy the shit out of.
I could be wrong. That one might actually be on Steam.
Is it really?
It might be.
Which one?
Sonic
Adventure 2?
Yeah.
Oh, it's on Steam. I have it.
It is?
Nice.
I do own it as well.
Yep.
Well, then re-release Sonic Generations, because that was the best Sonic game.
Yeah, it probably was.
Unless it's already on Steam. Who knows? But
I don't think Generations is.
okay, please put it there because it's so freaking good.
Generation is on Steam.
Well, then, you know what? My point's becoming moot, so I don't even know why I'm here anymore. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm excited about it. I want to see more Atlas games come out because it would be really cool if they started re-releasing, like, Dragon's Dogma on Steam. That's probably already on Steam. Fuck me.
It is.
Yeah, so, you know what? Just put Persona 3 on Steam because I know that's not bad. How about
that? Well, all hope is not lost because you did get 2 bonus points from Lion K. One for your funny joke, which I guarantee will be cut from the YouTube video, and
there's a takeaway point.
And one for the for even entertaining the thought that there would be a graphically improved Sonic 06. So
I net got 0 points.
Well, you net got 8 points actually, but
no, one of those is a takeaway point.
Fine, I'll take it back from you. There we go.
I want to keep this fair.
All right.
Fair and balanced.
Verlaine K fan says, "Man, we got a bunch of fake gamers on tonight. They don't even know every game that's on Steam."
Oh, how could we?
Yeah, you're right. I do need to memorize Steam's entire catalog more.
God damn it!
What is it, like a couple 100,000 games?
At least.
Yeah, it has to be. Dapper, what would you like to talk about for your second topic?
All right. So this game was in my fantasy draft, and I drafted it because I had to, because it got delayed. So let's talk about Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
Hey.
So last week, I literally did a topic where I just talked about how everything's getting delayed. Everything, every game, every reveal of price, everything in your life is getting delayed. Being able to go outside is getting delayed, yada, yada, yada. One such delay is Masquerade, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. But unlike
that title really rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
Yeah,
when you say it out loud.
It really does not. So that's getting delayed to 2021, which is sort of whatever, except if we didn't get other news a couple days later that the leadership at Hardsuit Labs and Paradox Interactive basically fired the narrative designer and the creative director, which is a lot more worrisome for people who are looking forward to this game. Like, a delay is one thing, but losing the narrative and creative people in charge, that's a lot more worrisome. Like, obviously, these things are related, but I wonder, like, when the decision was actually made in comparison to when it was announced. Because, like, I feel like that decision was made before the delay was announced. And, like, I wonder, was it delayed? Or like, was it delayed, then they fired him? Or did they fire him because it was getting delayed? Or did they fire him then realize they needed to delay it? What probably happened is they fired them, then realized that now that people are not there, they need to delay it. But, like, it's never good when major people in charge of a project get let go this far into the project. Like, again,
especially that.
Yeah, it was Metroid Prime 4, right? Where they just booted the entire team and basically got a new studio behind it.
It was like the whole game was being freelanced to a bunch of different studios with like one major studio heading it, and they were like, "Hey guys, this isn't working. Let's give it back to Retro." Okay.
Right. So like this stuff can cause some pretty significant delays. So I wonder even when in 2021 this is gonna come out. I mean, obviously you don't have to start from scratch per se, but to fire them means that there was something they didn't like about it, and whatever that something is gonna need to be redone.
Yeah, the thing I think that is a little bit worrisome to fans is that the first game does have a really dedicated audience.
Right.
And the narrative director of this game was the same guy, or the lead writer, whatever it was the same guy who wrote the first game. So everybody was excited that he was involved with this project, and now it's like, what does this mean?
Right, now he's not involved with the project. And yeah, you always worried when a game's first big sequel suddenly starts getting different people attached and it loses that feel and atmosphere that attached you to the first one. So I'm still hoping this turns out okay. Again, I'm hoping they're not like scrapping everything he did with it. But yeah, for fans of the game, this is concerning, and I'll be curious to see when it does come out how people react to it.
Someone went down the wrong pipe there. Yeah, this is very interesting. I mean, some people have said, "Oh, maybe his work on the game is done," but the way that this has been postured is that no, he was fired, and he doesn't seem to understand why. So something's up, which is worrisome.
I mean, then that'd be like super douchey by the company. Thanks for everything. You're fired.
Thanks for writing this cool game for us. Bye, G.
Right. That'd be terrible.
Yeah.
I hope that's not it, but I don't think that's it either.
Yeah. And I feel like he wouldn't protest this if this was, something like, oh, he's been a shitty if this was like a Ubisoft thing where it's like, oh, he was sexually harassing people at the company, it would be like, oh, this is why we fired him. So I don't know what's going on. I'm sure we'll probably hear more about this in the future.
Yeah, hopefully we
But-
learn something else. But hey, Dr. Disrespect still doesn't know why he was banned, so maybe we never will.
Yeah, maybe Unsolved Mysteries of Gaming.
Yeah.
Shit, that's a good idea for a series. Son of a bitch. Okay, save that for later. Ian, what would you like to talk about?
All right,
And now-
I want to talk about the coolest fucking shit.
Now I'm
Oh.
subconscious because someone pointed out that I'm not wearing a tie, and that Reliant K pointed out that my shirt's unbuttoned. So now I'm self-conscious. Thanks for that.
This is the undapper dastard.
Oof.
Ian, what would you like to talk about for your topic?
I want to talk about the coolest fucking thing, which is how some games are planning to use or are using the DualSense controller's haptic feedback.
Yeah.
So the story came out. We already knew there would be like a haptic feedback engine in a bunch of the vibration and the triggers, I believe, is where it is. I don't think it's also in the analog sticks.
I'm
but
not
a haptic
sure.
feedback engine is basically, think HD Rumble, but like more so. It's what you have in your phone to tell you make it feel like you're pressing a button and things like that. And the coolest fucking shit here is they gave 2 examples of how some games are using this. Number 1 is Deathloop, the new game from that's coming up from Arcane Leon.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, which is people who made Dishonored. It looks very Dishonored, but not. Like it's not the same franchise, but it looks very similar.
We're both pretty hyped for this game, so
it looks so fucking cool. And this is just putting it over the edge, is that your weapon can jam in the game, and when your weapon jams, it will lock up the triggers of the actual PS4 controller. What the fuck? That's so fucking cool. The other thing is Spider-Man Miles Morales, the lead of Insomniac, said that they're going to use it to replicate spider sense or spidey sense.
However it is.
So like you'll be able to feel what a venom blast feels like, and more
I hope not.
yeah, really. More something that you might be able to latch onto more is that you'll be able to feel where you're getting shot from in the controller, because it'll be able to like pinpoint much more accurately than a normal controller that we have now that just has 2 motors. So instead of or in addition to the when you're getting shot at, you have the red whatever it tells you on the screen, usually a little red semicircle thing.
You'll feel
instead
it.
You'll have vibration, and that's so fucking cool. What this got me thinking of is a couple months ago I got a steering wheel for racing games, for racing sims, and those are like, you can get a cheap one that just has an elastic in it, but if you're actually going to be doing things with it, you want force feedback. Force feedback means that if you're skidding out, your steering will like go, or if you're experiencing high G-force, it'll be harder to turn, things like that. And that's probably the main reason to get a steering wheel for racing sims over a controller, is just being able to feel the road, being able to feel your car. And this is not a replacement for that, but a steering wheel, like a cheap steering wheel from 2007, cost me like a little over $100. A current steering wheel is like $250, $300 for like the entry level one, and goes up to like thousands of dollars.
Man.
If people can reasonably play a racing sim with a controller, and like I said, it's not going to be any replacement for it, but if people can reasonably play it and reasonably be able to feel the road without spending hundreds of dollars, I think that's really, really cool. And I can't wait to see what other games are going to do with this. This is like the one thing I really hope they put this in, like they're able to implement this on computers, because there's no way I'm buying a fucking PS4. But I really want to experience this. I really want to try this. And if they can put this in like Steam games, I will get a PS4 or PS5 controller.
I have zero faith that that will actually happen.
Oh, probably not.
And I have very little faith actually that even like third-party titles will do something with this, which is maybe more of a problem. Seeing if like, you know, what is it? Watch Dogs 3 has something like that. I doubt that they will do that, but this is an interesting thing. It does worry me because there is, you know, the friggin' what is it? The Joy-Cons are $70 because they have the HD Rumble inside, and I can think of one game that uses the HD Rumble, and that's 1-2 switch for the find the ball, count the balls mini game, and nobody cares about it.
Yeah, because 1-2 switch is a bad game.
You're not wrong.
If it was a pack-in title, it would be fine.
Yeah, you do have to pay an additional $60 for that game, which is a crime. But we'll see. For Line K fans, both Zach and Ian have said PlayStation 4 instead of PlayStation 5 this stream. Yeah.
I say that all the time.
You got me on that. Pritsubar, what would you like to talk about for your topic?
All right. Let's close it out with some monopoly politics.
Oh.
So let's talk about what's going on with Apple and Epic.
Yeah.
Because I usually get really scared when the idea of any sort of monopoly, but especially tech monopolies, start getting brought up.
Well, you must be terrified all the time.
Oh, yeah. But this particular issue just seems like the rundown of the article is basically talking about how Apple is threatening to shut down Epic's access to Unreal Engine development and also boot them from the App Store completely.
Mm-hmm.
So they're basically cutting off Epic's revenue stream coming from being on the Apple Marketplace.
Yeah. Any iOS device, which is pretty substantial.
Pretty huge. And now I'm not going to sit here and be like, boohoo Epic, how are they going to make any money?
True.
Because we all know that that's not really a problem.
They did make $1.8 billion last year.
Yes. So I'm definitely not going to be doing that. However, what I am doing is I am really scared that what Apple's trying to do is they're trying to kind of like choke Epic or back them into a corner and potentially kind of run their revenue stream dry so that they can end up pulling some sort of buyout of the company, acquiring Epic Games, and then adding that to the giant conglomerate that is Apple.
Interesting.
They already, I know there's already talks of Apple buying Sony in its entirety.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, so Apple has kind of been setting its sights on the world recently. There's also a quote from one of the earlier articles about this topic that I think is really kind of apropos by a Epic Games representative. He basically said, quote, "Apple is bigger, more powerful, more entrenched, and more pernicious than the monopolies of yesteryear. At a market cap of nearly $2 trillion, Apple's size and reach far exceeds that of any technology monopolist in history." So Apple is poised to kind of be the new Disney of the tech world and basically encapsulate all of everything. And I think this is just their kind of like pawn to E3 move where they're just like, okay, well, you don't do exactly what we want, so we're going to kind of choke a huge chunk of your revenue stream and also cut access to your development of graphical tech so that your game suffers, your revenue suffers, and in the end, we end up buying up your company for a fraction of what it was worth, and then we start doing all those things and make a better game. So a lot of those things I think are very real possibilities, and I hope that it does not come to fruition. Again, I don't think this is anything that's going to happen anytime soon, because again, Epic Games is
they're not hurting
right now.
Yeah.
But if they start getting backed into a corner and they are unable to keep up with the other competition, like Fall Guys, then it would be really scary if Apple bought Epic, because that could be very dangerous for the video game industry.
That would be pretty insane. I had not heard of these rumors of them being interested in buying Sony, but I mean, literally the quote that you read was like, "Oh, they're almost worth $2 trillion." This week, they actually announced that they are in fact now worth $2 trillion, which is very funny. So
Too much.
Yeah, you're kidding me. $2 trillion? Like, what the heck? But we'll see. We'll see. Like you said, I don't think Epic has to be afraid of that, but there's definitely some issues with it. And even this last week, Apple literally went to Capitol Hill and had to testify that no, they were not stifling market creativity with their big monopoly. But here we are. Too many problems to complain about. But that's going to do it for this week's show, which means Dapper Dastard and Baritsu Baru, it's time to go home and become family men, because this week's winner is Ian.
Yeah.
Are you
with all the fanfare?
I know. Are you ready for your minute to win it, Ian?
You know the fuck I am.
Oh, wow. Okay. Bring it on.
Alrighty. I'm going to talk about fucking She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, because this show has like consumed my life for the past week or two. I watched it twice in the course of 9 days. In between, I watched Steven Universe. But it is just the cutest, the most like wholesome, lovely show you've ever seen. It's got great storytelling about like the effects of abuse and just like war drama and escaping to a new place. And it's so gay. It's so extremely gay. I love it so much. I literally cannot recommend it highly enough. This is the 2018 reboot of She-Ra, which you may have heard of because Nazis couldn't fap to it. But literally it's 5 seasons, but really it's 4 seasons. Each season is 13 episodes, so it turns out to 52 episodes. And every single one is just amazing. It's funny, it's cute. I love like 99% of all the characters with my whole heart. If you have not watched this show and anything that I just said has piqued your interest, please watch it. You will enjoy it. That's all I had to say.
You heard it here first, folks. Check out She-Ra and is the Princesses of Power? I forget. Yeah. Okay, cool.
The like 80s one was She-Ra Princess of Power, which makes it confusing.
There's more. There's more than one. But thank you so much for watching this episode of Around the Monitor. Things to plug this week. We do have a new video essay that just came out on the Spirit Temple and its real-world inspirations both in the architectural design of the temple and in its music. Please check that out. It is the final in a long series of videos on Ocarina of Time's dungeons that I've done, and hopefully I don't get pigeonholed into making just that kind of content. Anything else to plug from the rest of you?
D&D episode 3 came out a couple days ago.
Tales from Runeterra, our new Dungeons and Dragons actual play show, is out now. The third episode is out. We've just recorded technically the third and the fourth.
Fourth session, but 5th episode, because
Correct.
The third session is getting turned into 2 episodes.
But if you have not caught up on that, now is a good time, because we still haven't done that much. So, Ian and Baritsu Baru, anything to talk about?
Unfortunately, we couldn't do it last weekend due to work, but I'm still every Sunday, usually, doing a Pokemon randomizer on twitch.tv/wokesweetie.
Heck yeah.
Come on, check us out.
Very cool.
Anything to plug, Wes?
Yeah, sure. This is a very new project of mine, and it has not actually been released yet. So this is just like keep an eye on, or keep an ear to the ground. Very soon there will be a brand new podcast by myself and a couple of my good friends that I'm very close to in town where I'm living right now, are starting a fan fiction reading podcast called
Oh.
Stranger Than Fan Fiction.
Oh, that's very good.
Is a fan fiction podcast. It's me and a couple of my good friends reading good fan fiction. We're actually trying to uplift artists.
Mm.
And so we're reading fan fiction that we find that we think is actually incredibly well written. And we kind of spiral into talking about what we like about it, what we don't like about it. We read it aloud. We cast each of the dialogue roles in each of the fan fiction. And then we kind of just dick around. So it's a comedy fan fiction reading podcast. Be on the lookout. It's called Stranger Than Fan Fiction. It will probably be being released within the next month or so.
Heck
so
yeah.
keep an eye out.
That's dope.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah. Please hit me up with a link to that because
yeah.
I
I'll
will definitely listen to that.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you again so much for watching. Remember, you can catch us live every Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time on twitch.tv/KingKaiser. And the very next day on any podcast service. By any, I mean just Spotify and iTunes, but that's pretty much all of them.
Yeah.
If there's another podcast service you want us to put it on, we can do that for free. So just tell us and we'll put it there. It's not a problem. We're paying $9.99 a month to put this anywhere anyways. So hey, but until next time, this has been Around the Monitor.